What is up, everybody? This is Champion here. Today is January 27th, 2019, and this is a Videogamers podcast, episode number 3. And I'm here with my partner. Say your name, partner, so they know who you are.
Century.
He's just Sentry. That's my dog, Sentry, right there. And yeah, let's get into the news. Give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today. First things first, we're going to talk about Metroid 4, a big announcement that Nintendo made. If you live under a rock, you probably haven't heard of it. We'll explain it. And we're going to talk about Anthem, first impressions of the demo. Also, we've had a few hours to play Resident Evil 2, and we're going to give you our first impressions on that. And also, the Kingdom Hearts 3 reviews are out. And we're going to also give you our opinions of what we've seen and the videos that are out on the game and stuff like that. And, the game's not out yet, so we're not able to make like a really good prediction about it. But just from the videos, we're able to summarize what we think about it. But let's start with the huge, big piece of news that's like the most heartbreaking but also good thing that happened, which was Metroid 4 was basically rebooted. Restarted the entire process. They basically just deleted everything they had on the books.
No, I'm sure they kept some of the assets. Some of them they had to.
I guess, but
sure. Probably they just had to start over, like with new developers and new new project manager and stuff. But no, yeah, I don't think they completely scrapped everything they needed. I feel like there's more to that story.
I mean, well, so basically what happened was Nintendo on their YouTube, they put out a video talking about Metroid 4, right? And it was like, they were saying, this and that they, they were basically, at first I thought they were going to announce it. I didn't hear, I remember you sent me the link, I thought they were announcing it or doing a trailer. And then when I'm hearing like, oh, it doesn't meet our requirements, I'm like, hold up, what? And this and that, and yeah, we're completely restarting it. Okay, from scratch.
I mean,
and then
I love that though. Like, it's such a fresher it's just
fresher breath fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better word, but yeah, basically yeah, it's incredible. I mean, they could have honestly just said nothing, and people would have forgotten.
I feel like everybody feels the same way though. I feel like everybody was there like, I'm in the minority, but I like that the way Nintendo announces because they gave us full transparency, and then everybody kind of gave their opinions, and you can see the like and dislike ratio. Like last time I checked, there was like 90,000 likes and only a few thousand dislikes, and it's like, okay, everybody agrees. Yeah, Nintendo, you're doing awesome. Like, even though you canceled the game, you honestly canceled it, or you didn't cancel it, you rebooted it. But
yeah, they didn't say, oh, we canceled the game. And like what Microsoft did with Scalebound, but they
oh god, yeah.
But they said we don't like the vision it was going to, and we rebooted it with another studio, and I think that's what people loved.
The OG studio, the studio that made the original Metroid Prime games. So they have history and they're better at it.
They probably talked to them, like the developers of Retro, and they're like, "What do you think?" And Retro's like, "It's ugly." So My theory is that my theory was that they maybe were like halfway through the project. They kind of told Retro to come take a look at everything they have, and maybe Retro was gonna assist in some way. And then Retro saw the progress, and they're like, it doesn't look that good. And then Nintendo was like, well, we'll scrap the whole thing and give you full, No, there had to be more to that, because then that's Nintendo's like, oh, that's crazy. They can't, you know what I mean? Like, they've been working on this for years.
It's still though, like, even though we're still wondering what's gonna happen and stuff like that, honestly, yeah, like, I respect them so much for coming out and saying that, because most video game companies would have released the game in the broken state that it would have been in, basically.
Yeah, of course. They would have finished, add a couple more touches, and just dropped it.
Yeah, and it's like, you have to take note if you're these bigger companies like EA and Activision and Bethesda. Like, you have to, EA, your trailer for Battlefield 5, your trailer for a game, your announcement of a game had way more dislikes than likes. And then Nintendo's cancellation of a game that everybody wants, has a way better, like to dislike ratio than your announcement or your trailer of a game. So them canceling a game is still perceived better than you giving us a game, because we trust them, and they've gained our trust, and they've made the right moves. And I really hope all these other companies out there are taking note, because Nintendo, have they done that before?
I mean, Nintendo, to be honest, like Nintendo just did like a move that any developer would do, which is like be super transparent on everything on development. And they just, it's a AAA company, and they were really transparent. They're like, listen, we started from scratch because it didn't reach our mission, our vision of what we wanted Metroid 4 to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it shocked everybody. They were like, huh. Like,
I think the difference
nobody expected that
between...
from Nintendo.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they have so many hits coming out this year that, you know what? It sucks that we're not getting a Metroid, but you know what? I'm sure we're gonna get Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing,
Yeah, Deus Ex
and
Machina, or not Deus Ex Machina. What's it called?
You're the one glorying
Daemon
about it.
Machina. I don't know why I said. Well, I know it's Daemon Machina. Yeah.
So that's that game that Sentry's very excited about. I mean, I think it looks okay, looks all right. But Sentry thinks it's the next greatest game to ever come out. So let's see how it fares when it comes out. But yeah, honestly, Nintendo, I think that they're headed more by game developer type, like minded people that like are gamers. I think the people that are CEO of Nintendo, I think everybody that's in the front office, they're a bunch of nerds, game loving nerds that kind of grew up in that industry. And I think most of the CEOs at EA and Activision are just corporate fat suits that are just trying to make money, trying to improve the bottom line. Trying to just go for the bottom line, which is make money, make the company money, period. We're good. So I really appreciate what Nintendo's doing, and honestly, yeah, it does suck. And I think, again, I do think that Nintendo's gonna be like, but here's a cute little substitute. We're gonna re-release the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch, which you told me that they already announced that it was finished, right?
Yeah. So according to rumors, it's already finished. So I bet they were planning to release it with like the same year that Metroid Prime 4 was coming out, and obviously that didn't happen. So yeah, well, still to see.
It's still great though. Like if you still love Metroid, you're gonna get you're gonna get
Yeah, because
didn't
the Metroid games are like on different consoles, right?
I don't remember. I played the one on GameCube. That's the one I just remember playing.
Yeah, and one of them was on the Wii, and there's different consoles over.
That's gonna be really cool though. And so yeah, again, it was sad news, but the way Nintendo handled it, I really wish more companies would do that. Okay, because at the end of the day, we're gonna spend our money on that, so you might as well be transparent with us. And I always tell, I think it's kind of funny, and I was telling Sentry about this. Like, I just see like the heads of Nintendo seeing all the likes that they're getting on that video, and they're like, wow, people must really hate Metroid. Like, we should just cancel it. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah,
people are liking
that it was rebooted from scratch.
Yeah, they're like, we should cancel it, yo. I could imagine that. But Nintendo, they have a good hand on like the pulse of like the video gaming industry, or at least like us video gamers. They know what we want. They're very self-aware too. Okay, I think I like the direction Nintendo's heading in.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what
they've done a lot more. Yeah, they've done a lot more stuff for the fans. I mean, you see here with all the YouTube stuff that they went from like, oh yeah, you rarely saw Nintendo stuff on YouTube, which I think was one of the Wii and Wii U's biggest downfalls. They never got covered on YouTube, because if you try to cover them, you could have easily easily have been copyright. Nintendo was very, very, secure about its property, and it kind of, it kind of messed them up in the long run. And I guess they recognized that, and the Switch had, it went from them barely being covered to now Nintendo is like the most covered. When it comes to video games on YouTube right now, there's a lot of Switch channels dedicated solely to like Switch games and Switch news. It's a lot, it's kind of crazy, like how they went from barely being anything on YouTube to being very popular, especially now with Smash and stuff like that.
And that definitely worked out in their favor. Like, they're geniuses basically, because they rebuilt their image into like that family-friendly, everybody loves company essentially.
And they're still, because again, the Wii, I don't know if it was the Wii U or the Wii, I felt like they were too kid friendly because they rarely had any like M-rated games, but like the Switch has a way better library of M-rated games and stuff, and the graphics are able to, they're able to either, maybe there's a small decrease from the consoles, or they're able to look almost on par, and you have games like Doom and Wolfenstein and stuff like that, and hopefully, so it's not only like, again, not only is it created nice games and stuff like that for families, Mario Party, Mario Kart, and stuff like that, but they've also, kind of distanced themselves from being that kid console. Like the Wii U, if you had a Wii U back then, like the image was that you were, like if you were old and had a Wii U, like if you were 35 years old and you had a Wii U, people would see it as like strange. And again, I wouldn't care because, I mean, I knew people that had Wii U's and I knew older people that had Wii U's. If you love video games, you'll get a Nintendo console if you want and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to judge you for it, but that was like the perceived notion. If you had a Wii U, you were, perceived like kind of a wimp or something like that. But like now with the Switch, it's like I don't see that narrative.
Like, yeah, you can have a PlayStation, you can have an Xbox or a PC.
Well, you're not dumb,
you need
but
the Switch.
There's a lot, like, yo, you want to play Smash? You want to play the best Smash to have come out ever? Get a Switch. Oh, and by the way, you can play it on the go. And that's the thing. That's to me the biggest selling point. Yo, you can play anything you want on the freaking go.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's
We're just
carved up
praising
as
Nintendo here, but yeah, we promise we will move on eventually.
Yeah, eventually, but I could stay here for 3 hours just talking about how great Nintendo is.
Yeah, that was really good on their part, especially PR wise, for to convince to basically tell people, like, they were very open. Yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to say. Like, they didn't have to say anything. They could have just left it how it was, and people would have said, wow, 6 years ago they announced Metroid Prime, and then they released it. But they're like, no, we started from scratch.
You know what thing it reminds me of, though, Sentry? With, like, for example, Activision, and how they literally, the new Call of Duty game they had no microtransactions at the beginning, and then after all the reviews came out, a few months later, 1 billion transactions, and it's become hectic with the transactions, and that is such a sneaky thing to do. Honestly, that you're literally cheating people out of their money.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because I buy a $60 game and I check the review. If I want to buy the new Call of Duty, I check out all the reviews. Oh, you don't have to worry about microtransactions. And then I buy it and it's like filled to the brim with microtransactions. I'm like, yo, the heck? And the way that they did that on purpose and never said anything like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a ton of microtransactions. Like, no, the fact they never said anything just shows how shady they are. And yeah, Nintendo all the way, yo. You companies gotta start taking note. Okay, and we're going to go from an awesome company who knows how to handle their PR, from like Nintendo, to a terrible company who doesn't know how to handle their PR and sucks at a lot of stuff and kind of kills childhood dreams. They've killed a few of mine already. And that's EA. And that's because the demo for Anthem came out a few days ago. We haven't played it, but we've looked up a lot of footage on it. We've seen a bunch of people state their opinions of it. From what I've seen, it's kind of been hit or miss. You hate it from the looks of it, at least from seeing the footage.
Yeah,
or seeing people play it.
It looks like a Destiny clone with like no substance. Like, it just feels like another shooter, AAA shooter. You know, just going at trying to get that market, that whole Destiny MMOS market. So I'm definitely not getting it. I'm not even gonna play it. There's so many other better games to get this year. It's gonna be forgotten.
I don't want to say I share your hate. I think you're being a little too harsh on it. Cause I'm like, it's BioWare. It's like they're the homies. They're the lovable company. I know they're, you know, infected by EA's terrible disease of, you know, whoring, you know, microtransactions out on all their games. But at the end of the day, I still know that there's some people that have love, you know, for video gaming that made this game. So I'm like, there has to be good stuff in it. The gameplay looks tight. The graphics look great. Controlling your jetpack seems like it's a very fun thing to do. Two things that worry me. And these two things, well, 2.5. Number one is the glitches. Now, it was very glitchy. And EA has a track record of releasing very glitchy, unfinished games. Now, granted, they do eventually end up fixing all the games that come out that end up being super glitchy. They still come up, you know, they come through at the end and fix up all the glitches. They come through and fix up all the glitches, but I don't know. I still would not want this, because then you basically, after release, you would have to say, well, wait 2-3 months, and then I get the game, because you have to wait for a few patches to come out and stuff like that. You know, I don't want to hear that. I want the game to be good from the get-go. And again, you're not gonna grab an audience if they have to wait 2 to 3 months to play your game. So that's my first worry, because they had a lot of glitches. A lot of people were reporting glitches, and you can see a lot of people playing. Like the AI sometimes would just stand there. The enemy AI would just stand there and just like look at you and like just stare at you while you shoot it to death.
Yeah,
and it was fun.
I don't know. It seems I'm not really like looking forward to it, and from what I've seen, there's not like nothing new really that they're bringing to the table that hasn't been done in other games already.
The funny thing was that I actually was telling Sentry, like, wow, the AI is really good from what I've heard. Like, the enemy AI is pretty decent. And then, like, right there, like, the people we were watching playing it, like, the enemies, like, glitched right there, like, after I said that, and they were, like, standing still. Like, we were watching a guy play the demo, and that happened, and he was like, and you looked at me, you're like, oh, it's a great enemy AI, because they're just standing still.
I don't know. I don't know. It looks.
That's my biggest worry. That's my biggest worry. My second biggest worry is how they're gonna handle the microtransactions.
Oh yeah, you know there's gonna be microtransactions.
It's gonna be there. Now we gotta see how they handle it. They handle it correctly, which I don't know what that might entail, but that's my second worry. To me, those two things aren't a problem, and you might have something. You might have a solid game. Again, I don't predict this game to be amazing. I think at its highest potential, it could be just a very solid game. I don't think it's going to make anybody's, top 10 games of 2019's list, but I still think it could be a solid entry, especially if BioWare, and this is kind of like I said, 2.5. I have 2.5 things that worry me, and the other half thing is like the story. BioWare are very good story crafters, so I don't know if this game is gonna have any story. I mean, I was watching a bunch of people play the demo, and I never, there's like this cutscene with the scientist guy who gives you a few missions, and he.
Well, yeah, according to BioWare itself, they said this game is gonna be story heavy, but it's yet to see. I don't know. We haven't seen.
Yeah, much. Like from what I've seen, a lot of people didn't. There was like one cutscene about the scientist guy who kind of multiplies himself a few times and stuff like that. That was like the cutscene that I saw that everybody was seeing while they were playing the game, which seemed kind of cool. And hopefully the game's a lot deeper and stuff like that. And the customization looked kind of cool. I mean, it looked like it was heavily influenced by Destiny, but I kind of like that customization system, so I'm not complaining. Again, if you're gonna try to be a Destiny clone, in my opinion, at least try to be a good Destiny clone. Like, if you're gonna go there, you're gonna go all the way there.
No, not only that, you have to like bring something new. I mean, Destiny's already like a formed franchise. You know, two
No,
games
but
on its belt
if
and
people,
great DLC. So they have to like, it has to bring something to the table, and it hasn't.
oh, you don't know, because the story could be great. That might,
Yes, but
the story could be
you
great.
know,
And there might be new mechanics that we haven't heard about. Let's see how they support this game. This game is gonna be, again, I think it's gonna be always online.
yeah. I think
Which-
it's like a semi MMO.
There's always an error, not an error, but there's always like a worry with those games that the servers start acting up, and you know how reliable EA servers are, especially after they just launch a game. They're the most reliable things ever. No, they're not. I'm just kidding. I'm making a joke. They're the most unreliable servers ever, and if they start crashing a lot, you're not even gonna be able to play single player, and that's what scares me. I don't know what's wrong with EA games now that they all have to be online. I remember they did this with like SimCity. I think
Yeah,
it
well,
was.
this is their games as a service model. That's what it is.
But nobody even cares about Origins. Nobody uses Origins. They just buy the games. It's like, why are you attaching this service to it? Like, stop.
Yeah.
They just want to make their own service so they can,
Or no,
I
they
don't
want an online game so that they can keep adding DLC or microtransactions so they can keep selling. So yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's see what Anthem does. Again, I think it has the potential to be a solid game, not great. And Sentry thinks that it's gonna be a terrible game. I don't know. I guess I could see it as a bland game, but I don't know. To me, it could look like a bland game, but if they get the story right and the stuff I said wasn't, it's not gonna be a factor, like the bugs and the microtransactions, I still think it'll be decent. Let me see. Anthem will release.
Will be a good game. Kingdom Hearts 3.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't want to. Well, I already told everybody that I was gonna talk about it. But yeah, we'll talk about that right now. But yeah, just to let you guys know, Anthem releases on February 22nd, 2019. And I'll post a link to a few demos we watched. And if you can form your opinion on February 22nd, if you want to pick it up, it's gonna be available. So okay, we talked about Anthem, and I don't know if you want to go into Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into Kingdom Hearts 3. So, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out on if I'm not mistaken, on the 29th of January. Let me check. Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, let me see. Oh, it actually releases on the 20. It released on the 25th? I don't know why I had this idea that it's going to release on the 29th.
Wait. So it already released since this day?
Yeah. I saw the reviews either come out the 24th or 25th. I don't know, for some reason, in my mind, it came out on the 29th. I don't know why. I probably looked, it's on the 29th, probably another game comes out, and I confused it with it. Wait, let me see. Oh, no. It released on the 25th in Japan, and it will release the 29th everywhere else, including the US. So I was right. I was right. So yeah, so it releases on the 29th. So, but still, the game is out, and the reviewers, basically everybody that's reviewing the game already has their hands on it. We'll do our own review on it, but of course we're not big enough yet, so we still don't have we're not gonna get review codes anytime soon. But yeah, we're both planning to get it and give you guys our honest opinions. But from the reviews, and I wouldn't say reviews, I'd say more gameplay videos, Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the most beautiful games I have ever seen in my life. It is literally, I think it's, I don't want to go out on a limb. I like going out on limbs, but sometimes I shouldn't. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best looking game I've ever seen. I mean, is that crazy? Am I crazy for saying that?
I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. Like, it has this in its own way, obviously, like, even then though, like, it really, even seeing like the Pirates of the Caribbean, like yeah, it looks amazing. So it probably is. Yeah, I was trying to think like maybe Resident Evil 2 looks great or better,
Nah,
but no,
it's
yeah, it's great.
and no, that's the thing. Like that's the thing. I'm not trying to say like, oh, it has the most realistic or best looking graphics. I'm saying they are the prettiest looking graphics ever. I wouldn't say Resident Evil's graphics are pretty, but yeah, they
good.
For sure they're like the prettiest graphics I've ever seen. First of all, here's the thing: every spell in the game has its own set of very complex animations. And a lot of the cool thing is a lot of the spells kind of do weird things. Like there's this spell that puts you basically in a little spaceship, and the whole game turns into a first person like on rail shooter basically. And it's just like a normal first person like shooter that you're like on a little space pod shooting at stuff. There's another spell where it's like basically a train that comes and you're basically riding the train around and shooting shooting at the enemies from the train. And it's just every like spell and stuff like that has like super crazy animations, and it is literally one of the most beautiful games ever. You're looking at like the Pirates of the Caribbean gameplay right now. It looks great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Really is one of the best looking games, and it really shows like what the Unreal Engine 4 can do. Like
the cool thing is like the thing is you're talking about like Studio Ghibli and like games made like using like Studio Ghibli and stuff like that, and they look games that basically have that like basically Studio Ghibli look to them. And then this game, again, it has a bunch of Pixar, it's influenced by Pixar characters, and a bunch of the storylines and stuff like that you could say are kind of like inspired by Pixar. But the main thing is the animation and the look. It literally looks like you're watching a movie, a Pixar movie. Okay, the animation is flawless. It is beautiful. And here's the thing. I feel like people should really like understand this going into Kingdom Hearts 3. If you've never played a Kingdom Hearts before, please, before you play Kingdom Hearts 3, you need to understand the story coming in. This is something that Kingdom Hearts 3 does that I like, and is that it's not going to pander to people that haven't played the last few games. It's, you have to do your homework. Okay, you're gonna have to either buy the collection. That's like it. Last time when I bought it, it was $50, which basically brings all the games, all the remastered edition of all the games, and you play through them all. And or you can just go to YouTube and look up basically a summary of the whole series. And I recommend watching several videos that explain basically like the whole story, because it's a very long and complex story, very long. And the funny thing is, people don't get that. Like they usually don't think that, because it's like it's a game with Mickey Mouse and like Donald Duck and Goofy. Like I don't think it could be that complex of a story. No, trust me, it is probably as complex as like any other story you've ever seen. I mean, jeez. And you know what? Actually, to do y'all a favor, I'll link maybe like one or two of those videos that go into like the details of the whole Kingdom Hearts storyline, like from game 1 to like the latest game, because this is the thing that messes people up. Kingdom Hearts 1 released on like PlayStation 1. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories was a game that came out for Game Boy, right, Sentry? So it came out for Game Boy, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out for PlayStation 2. So people, thought, and I wouldn't blame them, okay, just get part 1, and I'm sure part 2, as long as you play part 1, you're good, right? You don't have to play that game, Chain of Memories, that came out on the Game Boy. Because the thing was, Chain of Memories came out exclusively on the Game Boy. And then when you played part 2, it turns out at the beginning of the game, you have no idea what the heck's going on. That's because you needed to play Chain of Memories to have at least some sort of clue of what was happening. And so it's kind of weird, because it's like, okay, so you made a few parts to this game exclusive to one console, and you made other parts of this game, like other parts of this game that are, again, very like when it comes to like the story aspect, they're very important to the game and to the whole story of the whole Kingdom Hearts series, and you make them exclusive to other consoles, and it's like that's why it gets very complicated. Like if you were like at first without the remakes coming out or the HD collection, you'd honestly would have to buy like 3 different consoles to be able to play the series. But what I like to say is like you could just watch a few YouTube explanation videos. And I don't think have you played any of Kingdom Hearts Century?
Yes, I played one, Chain of Memories. But it was okay.
So you still have a bunch of them. By the way, I love Kingdom Hearts, and I love that they named this one Kingdom Hearts 3. The running joke with Kingdom Hearts is that they have literally the worst titles for their video games. I mean, if you buy the HD collection, you'll find that right there and then. It's like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories Mix Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Cool Final Epic Mix. And it's like, I guess because they title their remasters different than the games themselves. Instead of calling it like Kingdom Hearts 1 HD, they call it like Final Mix cut version or whatever. A bunch of the portable games, a Birth by, and they never named it. They named part 1, part 2. There's Chain of Memories. There's 358 over 2 days, which again, that's probably one of like top 5 worst video game names ever.
Yeah, they.
Even though I actually like that game because I really like the.
They're in their own world when it comes to like naming games. It's very Japanese as Kingdom Hearts Redux 3.7 remastered, and it's just like the second game in the franchise. It's like what?
And no, I actually love that game because one of the characters from Kingdom Hearts, Axel, is like, one of the main people in that game. So I really love 358 over 2 days. But, and again, there's Birth by Sleep. There's a bunch of games. There's a prequel. There's a bunch of sequels. Go, those videos that I'm going to link, look at 1 or 2 of them. And I recommend you look at other because I'm sure a bunch of people have done basically explanations of the story. I recommend you look at multiple people just to hear like different takes and stuff like that. So maybe, with one person, maybe they explain it in a way you don't get it. The next person might. So I'd recommend doing that.
All right.
And I don't know how you're going to approach it, Sentry. Are you going to play the games? Because you do have the collection, or are you going to...
It depends. There's plenty of other games. And I'm also planning on playing Resident Evil 2. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I've been playing Resident Evil 2. Heavily as well.
What do you think of Resident Evil 2? Is it as good as everybody says, or?
That's the next topic. Well, basically, you've played it as well, right, Sentry?
Yeah, it's about probably 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to give this is gonna be our first impressions of Resident Evil 2. So I don't know if you want to start or start.
It's an old formula of not giving you a waypoint or anything. You kind of have to discover where to go next on your own. Reading the journal entries and all that. But I like it. I like the old, it's bringing the old zombie horror game genre back. So I'm enjoying it. It's very, obviously the animations are really fluid and
beautiful animations. The graphics are just
realistic. Amount of graphics are amazing too. So, yeah, it's a very nice game so far in the first 3 hours.
The thing I love about it is that it gets because Resident Evil 7 came out and everybody loved it, and it was a very big jump from like Resident Evil 6 and 5 which were more action-packed heavy games. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 were more horror / action. 5 and 6 were just action, all out, kind of. So, and Resident Evil 4 as well was more horror and action. But yeah, 5 and 6 was just purely action, kind of. And then Resident Evil 7 basically kept it just to horror. I mean, there's, again, all the games have action and horror in them, but the amount of it kind of changes per entry. Resident Evil 7 was like 90% horror. It was a horror game that had some, you can do some stuff. You can hit people occasionally and stuff like that. But you basically, most of the people that attacked you in that game, you couldn't even kill. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so I think I love that it goes from Resident Evil 7, which is all horror, which again, it got great reception. So I like that they went that direction. But a lot of people, I think, still missed the action/horror combination. So instead of making a new game, they basically remade Resident Evil 2. Literally, this is like an actual remake where they literally said, okay, we're not going to take the old engine, no nothing. Take the story. We're going to build a new game out of the old story. And that's basically what they did.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've changed.
It's a whole different game, really, from Resident Evil 7.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, and here's the thing, and I haven't played the original Resident Evil 2. From what I heard though, they've made substantial changes to you won't feel bored playing this one again. Okay, you won't feel bored playing the campaign a second time, even though you played it, the first time it came out. Trust me, they changes it a lot, so that the second time if this is your second time playing Resident Evil 2. Yeah, you won't get bored. Okay. One thing I love, you have big, slow zombies. These are probably those zombies that you see in pop culture. Basically, your generic zombies. These are as close to that as I've seen in a long time for video games. Video games tend to be a little weird when they handle zombies, but this is so good. First of all, most of the zombies don't really die. You shoot a zombie up and it will, you shoot you first, and here's the thing, these are bullet sponges. They take a crap ton of bullets, a crap ton of headshots, and they'll fall down eventually. You can go into another room, you can come back. If you stay there for a few minutes, you're gonna see that zombie get right back up.
Yeah, it's
and
overall in those couple hours you played, yeah, it is a great game.
And here's the thing, I've always have that fear while I'm watching zombie movies. Oh, those zombies that they just killed, they're gonna get right back up, right? Oh my god, I always have that tension and fear, and I've never had that in a zombie video game. You kill a bunch of zombies, they're dead. So the fact that it's you kill them and then you're walking around and you're unsure if they're dead and you're scared, even though you remember killing them, you're still scared because they can get up at any time. And I love that. And the gunplay, it's very smooth. It's more strategical than you think. I mean, you really have to plan out where you're gonna go. Because most of the game takes place at a police station, basically. Basically the biggest police station ever built, ever. This police station was huge, and you're basically exploring the entire police station throughout the majority of the game, and you have limited ammo, and these zombies take a lot of bullets to go down. So you have to stock up on ammo. You have to, again, a lot of times I don't recommend fighting all the zombies that are on screen, because sometimes you'll run into literally 4 or 5 zombies. Here's the thing, you can have 30 bullets. You run into 4 or 5 zombies. You try to kill them all, you're going to waste all your bullets. And next time you run into a zombie, you're literally going to have no defense. Okay? And the game is challenging. I don't know about you. I felt that it was a very challenging game. And it wasn't too easy. And at the same time, it wasn't too hard.
Yeah, it was a good balance. At least, from what I felt.
Let me see. Turn your screen back on. You turned it off. I accidentally turned it off. But so yeah, it had a good balance of a lot of stuff. And let me see. Let me look at a few other things that I liked about it. Kind of have a little list here of stuff that I liked. Kind of took notes of. The map is very well thought out. The puzzles. Hurry it up
because I have to leave in a little bit.
Let me see.
Very little bit.
Let me see, because it's first impressions. Cause I kind of want to spend some time on it. If anything, you can just leave and I can just keep going on.
So this is Sentry, and I'll be checking out a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be at the next podcast, and hopefully we'll have plenty to talk about more. Maybe about Nintendo.
Y-
Maybe
Are you
already we'll be
going?
playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Are you going to Are you're gonna keep playing Resident Evil, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So I'll probably have more
Yeah.
info on it. for our
By next week,
podcast.
we should be able to give you a very detailed review, and I'm gonna be able to like give you certain guarantees. Yeah, you gotta go, right?
Yeah. So
All right,
Sentry, check
all
it
right,
out.
Sentry. All right, Sentry. See you later. Yeah, we'll be able to make you better guarantees after next week. I'm gonna play it, and Sentry's gonna play it a lot more, and we'll finish it by then, and we'll be able to tell you, is the story great? Are the characters great? You know, basically we could, we're not gonna talk about any plot twists or anything like that, but we'll be able to, cause at least for the first half of the game that I'm pretty sure I've played the first half, or I'm about to finish the first half of the game. The first half so far has been amazing, okay, and I do think it's gonna keep, getting even better. From what I've seen, every like all the mechanics that you keep picking up and stuff throughout the entire game seem to you seem to like combine everything. I don't know how to explain it. So for example, you're basically running around in one room and you see an item, and that item may unlock something across the entire police station. It's like, very far away, but it's like on the other side of the police station. It might unlock something there, and you unlock something there, and then that's gonna help you unlock something at the other place, and this, that, and the third. And there's secret passages and stuff like that. I mean, this is the most elaborate police station I've ever seen. But again, it's constructed beautifully. The map, honestly, and this is what I like. Capcom said, instead of building this huge open world thing that we can't, give too much detail, let's just put the entirety of the game in a very enclosed map and just let's design it in such a cool way where it's like you're always gonna have interesting things happen. I mean, every time I have to go back to the areas where the zombies are at, there's always things that are different. The zombies are gonna be in different places. The same zombies I killed are probably back up, and they're probably in different positions and stuff like that. And here's the thing, man: the game gives you, it scares me, yo. It's a horror game, and it does scare me. There is the basically like the big zombie guy that comes and chases you, and it's that guy is huge, and you can't kill him at all. So you hear his footsteps coming. When you hear his footsteps, he's close. You better start running. That guy, if he gets you, he's gonna kill you, and there's no way you can kill him. And it's pretty scary. It's honestly like, it terrifies me. You kind of unlock, you have to deal with him later on throughout the game. But so far, from first impressions, the action is solid. The story, kind of cliche, but still seems kind of good. I wouldn't say the story is below average or anything. It's a strong story. I actually like what the characters have to go through and stuff. Again, remember, I haven't finished the story, so I can't tell you it's amazing or anything like that till I finish it. But again, from what I've heard, everybody liked the story, so I'm sure it's heading in a good direction. So far, first impressions, again, story, good. Gameplay, great. Solid gameplay. Controls are tight. The enemy types are great. You mostly have a lot of zombies. You also have basically these crawling creatures that kind of that they kind of don't see. They're blind, so they use basically the sensors in their ears and stuff to sense where everybody is. And if you don't make that much noise, you can get past them. If you make a little bit of noise, or you basically try running, they're gonna know where you are instantly, and they are quick. They can climb on roofs. They're one of the creepier zombies. They definitely scare you. They're the ones that, like, if you run into, you start like you want to crap your pants. Okay, and this game, I love it because not only does the game scare you, but it scares you in a genuine way where it's like, it's not a scripted cutscene that scares you. It's you playing the game. And here's the thing, and it's not, again, a scripted also like scare, like what, like, it happen. A lot of games do that while you're walking around, something scripted happens to kind of scare you. this has a lot of genuine scary moments, okay? Sometimes you get scared because you walk out of a door and there's a zombie right there. Like, you're running away from a group of zombies and you open the door, there's a zombie right there that attacks you. And, like, stuff like that, yo, will literally just make your heart want to, like, jump out. Okay, also walking into a room and seeing, again, like those creatures that I said that are the ones that are very fast, that are blind, running into those, again, it is scary as heck. Okay, and I really enjoyed the game so far. I've enjoyed it. If you're a fan of horror games, right now I can tell you, buy this game. You'll love it. If you're a fan of Resident Evil games, you've already bought it. If not, what are you doing with yourself? You have to buy it. Okay, so far the game is great. I've enjoyed it. Sentry, he gave his opinion. He enjoyed it as well. I'm going to keep this episode short. I'm going to keep it under an hour since Sentry had to go early. He had to do some school stuff. And I as well have to do some school stuff. But, yeah. At least we were able to give you guys a decent episode. And I hope you guys, enjoyed all of this. What I'm planning to do, what me and Sentry are planning to do is, instead of doing full-on reviews, we're just going to play the games and then include the reviews in our podcast. We'll give you first impression videos and we'll do reviews. And of course, the reviews will be included in the podcast. And then we're going to take that section of the video of the podcast and also turn it into his own video, post that as well. So if you just want to watch that review of that game, you can do it. And also, here's the thing, you're going to be getting the opinion of two different people. So I might enjoy a game, he might not. We're definitely not going to talk to each other before and like see what our opinions are of the game and try to like, find points where we equal and stuff like that. And like, not equal, I mean find points where we agree on. But no, we're not going to do that, okay? We're just going to form our opinions ourselves, and then if we have different opinions, we're going to argue it out on the show. It's kind of cool, though. You get two people's opinion rather than one. I think that's better. So tell me what you guys think about that. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. It was a weird news week for video games. There was a bunch of big news, but usually you'll have you'll have 2 or 3 big things that happen, and then you'll have a few little things that happen. This week we had like 4 or 5 huge things that happen, with Metroid and Anthem and Resident Evil coming out and Kingdom Hearts about to come out. So we have a bunch of things to look forward to and a bunch of good games coming out. So it's a good time to be a gamer. Okay, things are looking up for 2019. So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, leave a like, sub, and also we would also love your feedback. So, any thoughts or comments about the podcast, how we can improve it, how we can make it so you guys enjoy it better, just let us know down below in the comments. This has been Champion signing out.